This is an All Sports Station production.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, let's get you up to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. As mentioned, we are on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. It's sold out Heinz Field in the Steel City. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Houston Texans. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Here's the former UCLA Bruin, Kaimi Fairbairn, to get this one started. And with towels waving, we're underway from Heinz Field. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
An absolute prototype for what you draw up as a big, strong quarterback that has to stay in the pocket and make big throws with people all around him and even hanging on him, and still has that type of strength to get the ball downfield. Ben Roethlisberger, an absolute rock in the pocket, but he also can escape and make big plays that way as well.
Black 30.
Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. First carry for James Conner. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
And the play of this offensive line is going to be so important in this game because we saw the sack a minute or so ago. They've got to be able to give their guy time to throw. That means communication and being physical is vital. Otherwise, this could be a long game.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
Black 20.
Check 41.
Black is good.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 42-yard line. That's thrown to Smith-Schuster out wide. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Black 20.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. The confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
This is Johnson. He's got it. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Timmy Jernigan, play him over the nose, play him a defensive tackle, bounce him out to defensive end. Wherever you want to put him, Timmy Jernigan can play.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Again, it's Roethlisberger. And that will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 24. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
And Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Watson. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. J.J. Watt the one that gets him down.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player as well as a physical specimen. But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Roethlisberger now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger. Going deep to the end zone for Juju. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2.
You see me out here? That's right. We can't be stopped.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
And now out comes Houston.
They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Set. Can they take? Yeah, 98 from up. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Good dance, good dance. Go.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They turn to the fullback, Gillespie.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
As diverse as the running game has become in the NFL, there's still a place for the fullback position. And on that play, he gained nice yardage.
And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Out to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Devin Bush drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. And taken right at the 35. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has, really. And they come up here now, 1st down.
Here we go, here we go. Black 20.
Try to do better. Come on, QB, come on. 36.
Black inside.
A quick throw complete to Washington.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
23 yards the pickup there.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Roethlisberger now already at 100 yards passing in this 1st quarter. It's 1st and 10. So that'll back him up 5.
Let's go, baby.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Finds his running back, James Conner. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
All right, now, black 20. Blue down, blue down. What is that?
On 2nd down, Conner looking for space. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He finds his man Johnson. And he does not get to the 1st down marker as they stop him at the 19. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Look at the big man rumble.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky, but that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up, this should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Now Watson. Open man, the tight end falls. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
One step. Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up. And let's go.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Watson, he'll try and run it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the 1st.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Check set. 19. Check 55 to mine.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Set. 19.
Yeah, let's go set lunch.
On 2nd and 12, Watson, and his throw's going to be incomplete. They were searching for the tight end, Darren Fells, but now it'll be 3rd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
And they have to make sure that the receiver got both feet down in bounds as well.
We play to win. Let's go.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal. They'll come out in the pistol. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Stepping up, and he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Deshaun Watson, a 3-yard run as he kept it himself. And the Texans have taken the lead.
Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the final act belonged to Deshaun Watson in his touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. James Conner and the Steelers ready to get their next drive going. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Big bet in the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll start the drive with Samuels. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Ben leaves to counter on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger, and he connects with Ebron. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Roethlisberger now 13 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is Conner. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
2nd and 5 now. Roethlisberger, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 5. Play action. Now Roethlisberger. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. DeAndre Carter's deep for the Texans. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And now let's look at David Johnson. Now, the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
Yeah, he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. They'll run it split here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And there's the pickup you want on first down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on first down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They'll run on first down. Johnson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with second and a yard. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, Watson. And he finds Stills, complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Two first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. From the gun, Watson. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Faking the give, now Watson. He's got his tight end, it's Fells. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Watson and the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Johnson running right. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Here's the tap. 19. Trick pass. Trick pass.
From the red zone now, Watson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. T.J. Watt just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. To throw is Watson. His throw incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills. 3rd down here. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
He's got Fuller, and he'll get nothing out of that one. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Ka'imi Fairbairn comes on. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. Well, the drive started the shadow of their own goalpost all the way back at the 2. Pretty nice job of getting downfield and at least getting 3.
Agreed on that one. A real nice job because really their goal was to get out of the shadows of those goalposts and give themselves a little bit of room to help out their defense. Instead, they got 3 points out of it.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Let's go.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the 2nd quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Running to start the drive is Samuels. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2.
Black 20.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger. Ebron caught left side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
1st down now, but the clock continues to move. Here's Roethlisberger. Got an open man, it's Washington. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Roethlisberger will throw. Ebron with it over the middle. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Now Roethlisberger to throw. To the right side to Eric Ebron. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Pull it together.
Again, it's Roethlisberger. Gets this to his running back. That's Jalen Samuels. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now Roethlisberger. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. The sack there by J.J. Watt.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. Boswell's kick is good, and that'll bring him back within 4. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. And they start the second half with Johnson. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
He gets it to Cooks. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Now, that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Watson on the move to his left. He may try and run for this. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Under the category of obvious, you hate giving up a 1st down on 3rd and long. And somehow he finds his way downfield and picks it up.
Yeah, if you look at the coverage defensively, oh, this is great, but no one accounted for him at the quarterback spot.
At some point, you actually have to tackle him and get him on the ground short of the 1st down marker.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go. Line him, go.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Let's go.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
You're set. Play team. Watch the screen. Pass. Line him up. Oh, yeah.
Set. 19.
And watch that. And watch the ball.
Watson on third down. Finding fouls complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 29-yard line. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Back to throw. Watson steps away. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down. He'd had some success as a runner previously on this drive, just not as much space there that time.
Yeah, this time when he pulled it down, they were ready for him, so I think he's going to have to fling a few in order to open up that running lane again.
Set. 19.
And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag. That's going to set him back 5 yards. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. A shotgun snap for Watson. Open man, the tight end falls. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 18.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback, D-line.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And Stills bringing it in. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They'll roll him, and this will be a touchdown. Deshaun Watson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and the Texans push further out in front. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. It's good, and now it's an 11-point lead, 17-6. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the final act belonged to Deshaun Watson in his touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Ready? Like 80.
Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy?
Black, what's that?
Give me some. Give me some. Here we go, here we go.
Black, what's that?
On first down, Connor, and no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Right there.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Get him. Get him. Get him.
Blue, what's that? Black, what's that?
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And he finds McDonald. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Watch his slant. Watch his slant. Watch his slant.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Roethlisberger. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Roethlisberger coming up with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Again, a run with Connor. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. And Boswell's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So it's a third field goal for him now. He's accounted for all 9 points. I look down to the sideline, though. You can just tell they weren't too happy for 3. They wanted 6.
So they have to have 6. Look, he's keeping them afloat, but they really need to do exactly what you talked about. They need to get into the end zone and score some touchdowns. Otherwise, he's going to have to kick a lot more field goals than just the 3 he's already put through the posts.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This is taken at his 4. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, Watson. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. Sliding out of the pocket. He can run for it, and he will. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 34-yard line.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 34. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd down, it's Johnson, and only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Watson now to throw. Complete. It's Johnson. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. They're not going to get it. They try to move the chains with a surprise, but it's a turnover on downs. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Short little throw to Ebron. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown or the 2-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. The Steelers on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Roethlisberger now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. To throw again is Roethlisberger. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Ben to throw again. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Again, it's Roethlisberger. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 21. They begin the drive with Johnson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on to punt for Houston. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win 1st down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating 1st downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Check curls, check curls, check curls.
Now Roethlisberger. And the catch made by Johnson. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Roethlisberger will throw. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. On the ground, this is Johnson. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Watson. And his throw here's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Here's Roethlisberger. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. J.J. Watt able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. And his throw is incomplete. James Washington was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42.
Benardrick McKinney picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Jordan Berry now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. Running from the gun, Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the 4th, a costly turnover. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Every time, keep putting that ball on the ground. That's our
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game. But they were in what was really called 4-minute offense. And that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it. A costly turnover. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Here we go, here we go.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And the throw there going to be incomplete. There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by forcing the incompletion with the pressure.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And remember, he had one blocked earlier.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that'll get the lead down to 5. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, fourth quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And here comes the Steelers defense making their way onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
Set. Play tag. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Faking the give. Now Watson rolling to his right. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd down now, it's Johnson. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
They'll run it with Johnson. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. They go to Johnson again. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Brian Anger now.
He's been terrific so far. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So Big Ben and the Steelers now down by 5, just over a minute 40 to play. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Black 5! I
got it. Heavy, we got heavy. Look out for number 30, look out for number 30.
Black and 3!
Back to throw. Open man here is Gentry. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I like what they did there, still keeping their tight ends involved. They understand it's not quite Hail Mary time just yet.
Roethlisberger got to get his guys to the line as quick as he can. Now it's Roethlisberger. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
He'll look to throw. Setting up the screen, this is Samuels. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Roethlisberger to throw. Ebron with it over the middle. And he lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball, so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game.
Reset. 19.
Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Down to a knee goes Watson, and that should just about do it for this ball game. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on for the 5th time here today. So Houston going to come away here with the victory.
And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Heinz Field.